Pamela experiences explosions because she has explosive personality disorder. And yes, I'm so happy that I got to play her. She is definitely one of my favorite characters that I have ever had the honor of playing. And yeah, she is ferocious and feral, and she is willing to do anything to protect the ones that she loves. So I immediately love her for that.
Mm. And I couldn't been able to throw back to the scenes. I don't know if you remember us, Billy Bob Thornton's Bad Santa, and the idea of that sort of lady being attracted to the villain, the bad guy in a Santa suit. And there's something sort of similar playing here where the director and producer had that in mind. The whole Santa suit as well. It's sort of, you feel a bit, your character brings out that raunchy side in her, dare I say.
I think that I think that instead maybe not this actually maybe it is the Santa suit, but I think it's the chemistry between Billy and Pam is palpable because they both have these demons, as we all do, um, that they're just trying to keep at bay, and sometimes they get the best of them. But what we notice with the two characters is they really do bring out a calm in each other. And yeah, just she loves Christmas, and he happens to be Killer Santa Claus. So I mean, it was either going to be the most amazing Mortal Kombat fight of all film history, or they were going to fall in love. That's what Mike and I feel.
Okay. And dare I say, Ruby, how did this opportunity knock on your doorstep? Was it a normal sort of talent agent audition type role through Zoom or all that? But or were you approached, or is there a bit of a story behind this one?
Beautiful story, actually. I'm very honored that Mike had written the role with me in mind. I didn't know that until later on, but I was filming Dead Giveaway, which will be in theaters soon, and he called me and he said, "I have a script for you to read." I could not put I could not put the script down. I started reading it, I finished it so quickly, and I called him and I literally said nothing will stop me from doing this movie. Like, yeah, it was just immediate. I was so in love with it, so passionate about it. So yeah, it fell into my lap in a very unique way, and for that I'm grateful.
Yeah, and Ruby, in terms of the character Pamela, when you saw the character on script and how it was written for you, in terms of did it almost put ideas into your mind? Had you any other sort of person or character from movie in the past or something that sort of spearheaded you in terms of your direction, or was it your just your own innovation in terms of what you came up with, or is there someone that you were modeling, dare I say, Pamela on?
No, I wasn't modeling anyone. I will say that my mother is an incredibly passionate woman. She is wildly protective, and she always had, obviously has always been that way. So there was a bit of my mother in Pam, but in regards to the violence and her ferocity, no, I was able to play with that. And I think that we all have a little bit of Pam in us. We don't act out the way that she does, but yeah, it stepping into her shoes was actually pretty simple because I was so excited to play her and all of these different scenarios that she finds herself in. I was just so eager to see how they were going to play out, and then for, to be on set and be experiencing it live, it just was freaking magical and
Yeah.
hilarious and terrifying.
And Ruby, we wouldn't normally put drama and slasher in the same sentence, but these sort of two teams sort of vibe. This is, I know there's an element of a good lot of elements of slasher, and it comes from the makers of Terrifier. But there's also great drama scenes where you get to unravel the plots of these sort of two characters, unravel their sort of backstory. So it's not like first one meets the chop, second one meets the chop, third one meets the chop, everyone running for their life sort of things. There's a, dare I say,
Yeah.
this brings you on a bit of a, dare I say, down memory lane or childhood lane, and it sort of tells you more and more about the character, and then maybe goes into those moments, dare I say, of frenzied madness, and then comes back out of them again.
Yeah. Yeah, there was so much to play with, especially the romance element of it as well. It's such
Yeah.
a nice little cocktail, so to speak, right?
Mm.
Um, but yeah, the range that Mike offered the actors is another gift because it's so rare that, like you said, you're in a horror movie and then you're in a romance movie and then you're in a romance movie and then you're in a drama and it's just like that's so much fun. That's such a gift to be able to play with all of that and be able to bounce back and forth. Just yeah, amazing.
Yeah. And Ruby, in terms of the shooting of the movie, I believe it was shot in Manitoba, Canada, in terms of that. Did you have an extended period of time sort of shooting? And I imagine was it all sets shooting, or did you do a bit of off location site in terms of block shooting as well?
No, we stayed in the city and a majority of the filming was, well, actually no, all of the filming was outside of the city. So we were in very rural areas
Yeah.
and it was really magical. We got to see the northern lights, every star in the sky, so you hear somebody screaming bloody murder, but you're looking up and you're like, it's so beautiful.
And dare I say, there's an awful lot of when it gets frenzied in a hurry, and there's an awful lot of action scenes and stunt scenes. And were you sort of thrown into that madness as well? Did you delve up in those sort of stunt scenes and get involved in them as well, or is it very much in terms of the lines is all you, but maybe it's people running from behind is a different person?
No, I actually am so happy to tell you that I always battle. I want to do my own stunts and at every opportunity that I can. So, I'm happy to tell you that all of my stunts are my own in this film, and that is mainly because the stunt coordinators were sent from the heavens. They made me feel so safe, and there was so much preparation and time put into each scene between, if it wasn't with
Mm.
me, it was with Rowan, and yeah, everything that I got to do on the film was me, and I am so happy about it because like marching across the ice, terrifying. But I did it and jumping into the ball pit and I won't give spoilers, but yeah, it was very fun.
And in terms of that, as an actress, when you're doing that choreography of those sort of stunt scenes, you're trying to remember all those sequences, but also trying to bring that acting element and meshing the two together as one, because they can't be two, they have to be one for it to come together successfully. Is that a different sort of a challenge that sort of challenges you? To your acting ability in terms of motion, in terms of movement, being able to deliver lines and sequences on their own rather than the standalone background where, say, some theatre actors would have come from a theatre background that are just standing on stage and delivering lines.
Yeah. I mean, that just falls into preparation because there are so many moving pieces when you are on a set and everybody is doing so much that the best thing that you can do is show up prepared. That way, when you are doing that dance and you're moving and you have the physicality and then you have to jump between being funny and then screaming and being silly and it's just and for me it always comes down to preparation and I was very very lucky because Rowan Campbell is not only such a great human being, but his artistry is insane. And to be able to work with somebody that you're learning from and somebody who is so generous with their time that if we weren't on set, we were running lines. We were talking about our characters, we were challenging one another, we were asking questions. So, yeah, there was such a good amount of preparation that made everything go so smoothly. Not to mention, there was so much laughter on this set. I've never been on a set that had so much freaking laughter. So, yeah.
And Ruby, were you aware of the original movie 1984, or did you only learn that when you arrived on set?
I hadn't watched the previous films until after I read the script. So once I read the script and I was signed on board, my boyfriend and I watched the first three movies and it was such an odd, beautiful experience to be watching the films with the new script in my lap and to see the world, that they had painted at that point in time and to see how Mike had really, it's such a unique and new
Mm.
take on the film. So yeah, it was just very strange and awesome.
Yeah. And I do believe Ruby as well, sometimes, as we know, in terms of horror movies and slasher movies, especially from the makers of the Terrifier as well, there's an awful lot of blood, there's an awful lot of gore, there's an awful lot of visual effects that go into it. But obviously, then the stars of that are the makeup artists and that put all this stuff together. And were you sort of blown away by their artistry, their vision, and what they were able to come up with on set for you?
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry that I'm just like, I'm
Oh,
stepping on you. It's just because, not sort of, I was absolute, can I curse?
yeah, yeah,
I
go
was
ahead.
absolutely blown away because I'll try to make this fast, but there were so many moments on this set where they had practical effects and the artists that were making these people, I don't know what they are looking at, but I pray for them all the time because I'm like, what do you dream about? Because there was this day that I showed up and I was going into hair and makeup and I didn't know that one of the bodies was in the makeup chair and his head was just cracked open. I have never screamed bloody murder more, like loudly in my life. And between that and then showing up to set and there's just a body on, just they looked so real. That's my point. And it was, yes, so much blood. I will not give it away, but there's something that happens at the end of the film that, like the prosthetics that they had, it was just so epic. And and this is the other thing, there was this day on set that I was so excited because I hadn't seen any of the kills.
Mm.
And I finally got to see one, and I was, I said, "Can I film it?" And I almost fainted. I was rowing on top, just doing it. And when they yelled cut, Mike was like, "Ruby, are you all right?" And I was like, "I need to go outside. I need air. I'm gonna throw up or I'm gonna pass out." I don't know. So Mike was so giddy by that because he's like, if she has that reaction and she knows it's fake, like this can only mean that we're gonna do so well. Like, I really hope that people like the amount of blood and gore that is in this film because I don't know how Rowan slept at night. Oh my gosh.
And judging by that reaction, growing up as a teenage girl, I doubt you were a Mike Myers fan or stuff like that in terms of horror movies. I say the squeamish element stayed away from that. So, as an actress, get to star in those horror movies is a different environment playing them rather than seeing them on the big TV, big cinema screens.
Um, yeah, but it doesn't change anything because I don't like being chased. I
Yeah.
have this problem where when somebody's chasing me, I just drop down. I have no survival instincts because my brother, he's my older brother, and anybody that has an older sibling knows what they put us through. And my brother used to chase me relentlessly. So I have no survival skills. That's one. And no, I mean, being honest on the set of a horror movie, especially if it's fun, people are having way too much fun frightening you whenever they have the opportunity if it's not going to get in the way of the production. Like I did a film called Satanic Panic and the special effects team had so much fun on that during one of the days that we were filming in the woods, they found opportunities to dress up, jump out from behind trees. They turned the smoke machine on whenever they want. We're like popping out. It was just like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you're kind of always in a heightened state of like, I need to protect my heart. Oh
Yeah.
no,
Not good if you have the blood pressure, I imagine.
no.
And Ruby Modine, I'm just going to break away for a while before I come back and close on Silent Night, Deadly Night. Before we came on air, you mentioned you had one or two other projects in the pipeline that might be coming our way early in the new year. You mentioned one that you were recently finished filming on. You might enlighten us about that a bit more?
Yes, Dead Giveaway, which earlier I said will be in theaters. I shouldn't have said that because I'm not sure where Dead Giveaway will be premiering, but I worked on that film prior to Silent Night, Deadly Night, and that is a bloody frickin' comedy that I worked on, directed by Ian Kimball, and it stars Michaela Hoover and I. And it is a film about a woman who wakes up with the worst hangover of her existence and there's a dead body in her bed and the mission is to make it to brunch by 3, but also who the fuck is the guy in her bed who has been stabbed relentlessly? Like, so that's Dead Giveaway. Hopefully I'll be able to give you a release date on that soon. And yes, I've got a lot of new music coming out. I've got a music video coming out next week on the 13th, just the day after Silent Night, Deadly Night, for my song called Linear,
Okay.
which features Tommy Roulette of El Nino.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a lot of different things on like, what do they say, that there's a lot of different things on the burners.
Yeah,
So little
yeah.
by little, I'm rolling things out on the red carpet.
And Ruby Modine, I believe, as a little wee girl, a little wee lass, you visited the Emerald Isle, dare I say, running around with, dare I say, the fields of shamrocks and leprechauns. And what was that like for you?
So magical. And I got to visit a castle and I got to run after cows and I met the biggest dogs I've ever met, who it was such a wonderful experience. And I went there because my dad was shooting a movie, which, forgive me, I can't remember what the title of it was, but yeah, and horseback riding, and it's just such a magical, unforgettable place. And I'm so excited to be able to be going there next year. So when I come, I'm going to ask you for another interview.
Okay, okay. You have my details anyway, that's for sure, Ruby. So keep in touch. And Ruby
Course.
Modine, I'm going to turn it over to you now for the final 30 seconds. You might enlighten all our audience, all our listeners, why they should go to the cinema screens en masse to watch Silent Night, Deadly Night. And when they do, Ruby, what's in store for them?
I think that everybody should go see Silent Night, Deadly Night, which is in theaters December 12th, because it is a bonkers Christmas horror romance movie that will make you laugh, cry, and scream with joy. It will have you on the edge of your seat because it takes such a turn that, as of now, a lot of people are like, you just don't know where this film is going. And there is a lot of love, a lot of laughter, blood, sweat, and tears put into this production. And Mike P. Nelson has taken what was already a great movie and put his own spin on it. And I just think it's freaking fantastic. And I hope people go see it and enjoy it.